Cheers, welcome to my channel. This daily tarot oracle reading, Tattle Tales from the Vector, is a collective or general reading, meaning that parts of it may or may not resonate with you. Take what works for you and just leave the rest. This is also a timely reading, meaning that if you're watching it at this time, it's the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it's been a while since I posted this, what was going on back then in your life, that will give you further clarity to your situation now. My goal is to provide valuable information for you, and we are going to begin the reading with the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck, and we have the Three of Wands. Okay, so the Three of Wands, the wands represent the element of fire. And this person is standing on one shore, and then there's a distant horizon there. This looks like it might be a desert, but it's actually water. There's ships sailing on it. So this is just talking, it could be a mirage also, that kind of energy, which I just thought of. But it's basically just because the sun is shining on it. And you know how the sun will turn the water golden at sunset and sunrise. And the energy here is, this card always gives me the impression that someone has come to some sort of decision, like walked through a portal and they're on the other side. And the card before this is talking about feeling like a big fish in a little pond. And I feel like this card is representing, okay, I'm ready to move on. My ships are sailing in. I want to hop on one of them babies and take a ride. That's the energy. And this is talking about, like in the card before this, they're thinking about it, but here they've made the decision. And their hand is on this third wand, and this is the one, they're leaving these two behind, and they're moving forward with this wand right here. And I also feel like this is like the 111 portal. So the 111 portal is, you'll know it when you enter it because it's the way that the universe can talk to us through synchronicity. And the way it works is you'll be working on your computer and all of a sudden you'll look at the clock and it's, hey, it's 1:11 or it's 11:11. And then you decide, oh, I've got to go pick up that package. You look up the address and it's 1111 11th Avenue. And you're like, what? And you leave the house and you're on your way and there's a detour. But the car right in front of you has a license plate with 111 in it. And so it's this kind of energy, and it's the universe saying, when you see these 111s, that you're manifesting at a very high level right now. Be very careful of your thoughts. Focus on where you want to go, not on the problems in getting there. And that is, you'll notice when that happens, if you start paying attention, you'll notice, hey, I was just having a really negative thought. We don't even realize sometimes our subconscious mind is running, you know? And and especially if we hit a detour, oh great, now I'm going to be late kind of energy like that, right? And so it's that kind of energy. And then we're going to, so that's the underlying energy. You're in a 111 portal. So pay attention if the clock hits 11:11 or 1:11, you'll just notice. It's really weird. That happened to me about 15 years ago. And like I've noticed it ever since. And it sometimes it doesn't happen, but then all of a sudden, and lately it's been happening for me a lot again too. After quite some time, I don't remember it being this often, right? It's like, oh, you wake up in the middle of the night and you're thirsty. You go get a glass of water. You glance at the clock. It's 1:11 in the morning. It's just that kind of energy. Then that's saying, hey, you know that dream that you just had? Pay attention to it. The universe is trying to talk to you, because you're manifesting, and that's the kind of energy. So the hangman is talking about hanging from the tree of knowledge, and he hangs there until he's upside down so that he can gain a new perspective on an old situation. And when he feels like he is enlightened and he has what he needs and the information, and he's looked at the situation from all angles, and then he feels ready to take a movement forward, he'll come down from the tree of knowledge and implement what he's learned. And then we have so this is talking about the World card is when the Fool begins his journey in the major arcana of tarot, he is at the 0 point, and then he goes through all 21 cards after that. And that when he gets to the world card, that means, okay, you've achieved your goal that you can in this cycle, and it's time to move. You're going to be moving into a new cycle. This 111 quite often is that kind of energy. That's when you'll notice it, is like when something that you've been working on or a problem starts being solved kind of energy, or you're planning a move, or, you know, like this card here. So just, you know, this is talking about the cycle is over and now you're going to be starting a new cycle, and you have achieved something at this point, and to take that and use that to manage what you've learned from whatever the situation or whatever the cycle was. And like some of these cycles can be really long cycles. Like it could be like a 20-year marriage that you're leaving. And this is something, this card for me quite often represents someone that's been in a relationship with like a couple for quite some time, and they're now moving on as a single person. So that if that's you, this could be, you know, your reading. The wands are made of wood, and they talk about action. And, you know, the element is fire, so wood feeds fire. And so it stimulates people to move forward. The Six of Wands is saying victory. You've achieved what you've managed to achieve what you were working on, whatever that was. And so sometimes a cycle could represent a project that you started and now you've completed it, or maybe you got a promotion at work or something like that. Because this is saying that, you know, there's some people in the background there are jealous maybe a bit, because it's very clear you're in a leadership position, that you are in a leader role and you've won. You have victory. And the reason you have victory is because you were able to rein in your emotions and keep a steady pace, kind of. Not give in to emotional outbursts and all of that kind of energy, just staying on track, on your goal, and you've achieved it, and you're the winner. And so this is really cool energy to start a reading off with. There's my dishwasher is just going through a cycle. I had to do dishes. I couldn't stand it looking at them. I did a lot of, I cooked myself a big meal yesterday, and it took like every pot and pan. I was just really hungry for a really good meal. And so this energy is talking about the horse energy as well. And so this is an energy that the next set of readings that I'm going to be doing, I'm finishing up the readings for the mid-month readings for the different horoscope signs. And then I'm going to do a reading on the new moon coming up, because it's going to pack a wallop. Right now, this reading will be on the 10th of, that noise will be gone in about 30 seconds here, just so you know. It'll be the 10th when I post this, and then a week from now, it is going to be the year. We're going to have Chinese New Year. The very first day is on the 17th, and we're moving into the year of the fiery horse. And so this energy is, when it shows up in my readings, I always bring it up, because if there's a horse here, there's a reason for it. And it's talking about, like, a week from now, this energy of this new moon. The new moon is in Aquarius. So it's very interesting, because this is about leadership. And the Aquarius energy is, the energy across the wheel, the sign that's across from Aquarius, directly opposing it, is Leo. And so on the horoscope wheel, the sign that is opposing your sign it has a big influence on your life. Like it's a big difference. It makes a big difference in your life. So the Aquarius energy is all about the group, the whole, you have to look after your responsibilities in business and in your family, and you have to look after the whole wide world, basically. And the Leo energy is talking about being a really good leader, but it's saying I have to look after myself too. Like I have to look after myself first, or else I'm not going to have enough to give to other people. And so it's kind of like a back and forth energy. And on the 1st of February, we had a full moon, and that one was in Leo, and Aquarius was opposing it. So this energy's been going on for about 3 weeks now, where people are saying, like, I need to look after myself here. and I have so much on my plate, and then I got to look after all this other stuff too. And so there's a lot of people are kind of feeling that pressure right now. And so that on that same day when we move into the fire horse energy, we're also moving into the new moon is occurring on the same day, and there's a solar eclipse. And a solar eclipse is like, bang, it's dark in here, that kind of energy. And we'll notice the eclipse. This is the first eclipse of 2026. And it's, generally the eclipse energy, you'll feel it for a good 6 months after. And it's it's also highlighting this need for looking after yourself as opposed to looking after everybody around you, and how to be a really good leader. We're seeing that played out on the news right now with all the files coming out. And we look at all these leaders from around the world that just were gathering at Davos and all of that energy. And, the hypocrisy of it all, really, it's staggering, really. If you watch the news at all, you'll know what I'm talking about. And so this energy is really like hitting the planet really hard. I just did a reading this morning as I'm working on this one. I posted a reading. It's a little bit different reading. I was kind of like, because it's talking about for the love of money, how some people will do anything for the love of money, and we're seeing it playing out. And it was just a message for the earth, basically, for the whole world. Like, you need to pick a side here. Like, are you going with God or are you going with the other guy? Because, the spiritual court is in session right now. And you notice there's a lot of truths coming out regarding actions that people have taken generations ago, and all of a sudden the truth is coming out now, and we're witnessing it. And a lot of the energy is, there's a Super Bowl, so let's enjoy the Super Bowl and forget about the files, and just let's sweep it under the rug kind of energy. But then now the Super Bowl, a lot of people only watch the Super Bowl because the halftime show is usually extremely awesome. And this year, apparently, I didn't watch it, but apparently it wasn't, or according to the fans, etc. And so we have that energy. So even when we're supposed to be able to be in this really light-spirited, a lot of people really look forward to the halftime show of the Super Bowl, and a lot of people apparently were very disappointed. I haven't really looked into why. I don't know. It wasn't on my priority list, but the energy is coming in regarding that. So what you need to know about this energy is it's about this leadership and looking after yourself and looking after others. And that's why you're victorious. You were able to rein in your emotions regarding that. This energy of the fire horse is really very free-spirited, and it's really adventurous. It's very much like Sagittarius energy. A lot of travel, adventure, knowledge, wanting to gain knowledge for the sake of it, just loving to start new projects. So someone that's in the fire horse energy might start a project and go through 3 cycles in 1 year, and someone else might take 20 years to go through 1 cycle. It's that kind of energy. And the thing about the fire horse energy, when it comes to matters of love, because Valentine's Day is coming up, this energy is very much really heartfelt. Like, horses have really big hearts, and they're such a beautiful animal, and so it's very passionate and heartfelt energy in this energy. And then also the energy that you have to really watch for with the fire horse, particularly those who already are fire signs, is that it can be very, very impulsive. And it can be like you have a temper, and you act on your temper, and you're really angry, and then you can't, you post all over Twitter and all over the place, and the next day you're trying to take it all down, but you can't take it back, because once you speak words or write words and put them out there, then they're there. And that's the kind of energy. So you have to be very careful in this energy, because we're just entering it, and this is going to be for the whole year. Avoid getting in conflicts with people unnecessarily, because some people like to fight and some people don't. And so if you're someone who prefers to have peace in your life, then don't get into arguments and stuff that are not necessary, and that will show really strong leadership. So that's a lot of energy coming in from just these 4 cards. But I feel like it's really important for people. I want my collective to really realize, like, the people that are going to win in 2026 are people that are able to discipline their mind so that they have the freedom to do what they want. And we have, okay, so here we have it. We have the celebration. But the celebration, this card, most readers read it as a celebration. And every time I see this card, my stomach drops. Like, it's like, ugh. And the reason for that is because these 3 people, the cups in tarot represent love, like romantic love. And then they can also represent love of other people and love of something you want to be or something you want to do, that kind of, energy, like a business or something like that. And these 3 people are toasting, but none of them are looking at each other. And in many cultures around the world, and particularly in European cultures, if you don't look at someone when you're toasting them, they have a superstition that it causes 7 years bad luck in your love relationships. So that's not a great way to start it off. Also, these are cups of love. Why are there 3? Quite often this card, this card will be with this card. And I won't be surprised if some more cards come up saying that there was some infidelity in the relationship. So we'll see. Yeah, well, here we go. Damn it. We were going so good here. But we're saying that the old cycle is over, from 2025 and moving into 2026, is that you have been sabotaged, stabbed in the back 10 times, and it's right by this celebration. But now you're victorious. And so this energy is talking about it was you were stabbed in the back at least 10 times and left for unalive. And these people are celebrating that this has happened. And this could represent, that one person did this to you 10 times. It can represent 10 different people, or it can even represent 10 groups of people, 10 years, a whole decade of it. And that's that energy of moving out of 2025, which is the end of a 9 cycle, and moving into 2026, which is a 1 cycle. Here we have it right here. And so this is saying this energy is over. But some people were celebrating a little bit too soon because you were left for unalive. This is a lot. This isn't like, oh, someone just doesn't kind of like you. This is like calculated energy, a lot of thought. How can we take this person down? But you notice that your hand is in the form of a blessing here, and that's the Hierophant energy. And so the Hierophant represents traditional structure and justice coming down from the spiritual realm to earth. So this is saying, and in the background here, we have a lot of dark sky and then some light, and this is saying there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel. So hang in there. A cup of love is coming in for you. A new cup of love. See, you don't want this cup of love. You've been victorious. I feel like this is talking about the transition that's happening right now that you're going through here. And so the Knight of Cups is representing someone that there's some sort of information coming in. Then the knights would work for the king and queen and the rest of the court. In the old days, they would travel and they would deliver messages far and wide from one kingdom to the other by horse. And we have another horse energy coming in here. You notice that. And so this is saying, this time coming up, pay attention to your intuition, because there's somebody that wants to offer you a cup of love here. And why would 3 people be celebrating your cup of love coming in? They're celebrating this. So they didn't want this to happen, that's for sure. But you're victorious because you ended this cycle. And it's talking about that energy. So the Knight of Cups is like the one you read about in the romance novels and see in the movies. Like, oh, he's all shiny and dressed to the nines, and he's coming in proper. Like he's got the cup of love, and sometimes this can also be an apology. So we'll see what's going on. These days, don't expect him to ride up on a horse, and he might be delivering a message for someone else. So this represents like the energy of, a letter in the mail, a text message, a phone call, It could be an email. It could be some sort of messaging on social media, even a post on social media to an event, and then you bump into this person when you go to the event. It can represent what's going on in the news. And, what's going on in the news I already spoke about. And look we now have another horse coming in. Yeah. Pay attention to the energy on the 17th. If you want to know more about the horse, the fiery horse year, I have a playlist, and I think I did connect it. Oh, I connected it to the daily reading that I did. Yes, it'll be yesterday here, and I'll do that again because that's the energy of the fire horse energy. And I did a reading for each of the signs. Plus, it has the Valentine's Day on it for each of the signs. And then I do have a new moon and full moon. So if you want more information about that for your particular sign that's more specific, it may empower you to take a look there. So the Death card, a lot of people panic when they see this, but this is just talking about the Grim Reaper is not meant to be evil. The Grim Reaper is just representing like a transition. And so this card represents birth and death and rebirth, basically. And that's representing this energy right here. And so the energy is... here we have, the king is trampled, and this doesn't represent an actual king so much as it represents systems that you thought would never come down. We're seeing a lot of that energy in the news right now. What's going on in the royal family in England. They're going through it right now. And this is talking about how you can't control. You can only control your internal forces, like the what ifs in life. You can't control the external forces, but you can control your reaction to what people do. And so there's a lot of reaction from the files that are out, and it's hitting the royal family really hard. And it's talking about the structure, like the information is so damning that it's reflecting upon the whole system of the royalty. And so they're having to deal with that. And you see that happening in the media right now, them coming out and speaking. Like a lot of times the royal family doesn't say anything about what's happening in the news, but they're saying it now. And they're coming out and they're making it clear. And so that's the kind of energy. A lot of people are, whoa, we've never seen them do this before. But they're doing damage control. And they can't control what everybody in their family does, but they're the ones that have to deal with it. It's that kind of energy. So you have to either react to it or respond to it, right? And then this is the energy of like some people not wanting this change or being afraid of it. And then other people, like these little ones, offering a bloom to the Grim Reaper and saying, hi, I'm all ready for the new. If you think about little children, they're always ready for the new. Oh, and look at this. This is that card before this that I was talking about. So this is talking about this transition, and maybe you met someone and they live in a different city or a different province or state or even a different country. And that might be a big part of the reason too why you want to move on. You're going through this major transition anyway. You're standing here at the turret of your castle and you're saying, I feel like I've done everything I can here. This card for me often represents like entrepreneur energy of like having a really successful business, because this talks about having the world in your hands where you're at. But you might live in a smaller city or whatever, and this is about wanting to expand your horizons and possibly expand the horizons of your of your business. And so I quite often I feel like it's like, okay, I've been really successful here. I want to franchise, or I want to attempt building another building. That's talking about someone who's in this energy that goes through cycles very quickly. And so this energy, he's the king of his castle. He's at the top of his turret, and he feels like he's a big fish in a little pond, and it's time for expansion. And maybe you've met someone and you want to propose to them. This is part of the transition after this happening, and you're just ready to leave where you're at. And this can actually talk about, okay, here you're thinking about it. His left hand is here, and he's thinking about all the using his intuition and thinking, I think it might be a good time to move, and using his creative side, like what could I do, how could I do it, how could this take place? And then this is with the right hand saying, okay, I'm ready to move forward. This is the decision I've made. This is for the whole reading. So this is him in the process, or you in the process of wanting to make this move. And then a new cycle starts. There we have it. So this is talking about the cycle that ended, you making the decision to leave this, and now you're on this new cycle. So there's the Fool at the 0 point, ready to go on a brand new adventure. And I have, I'm building a pyramid here. The bottom line here represents what you have. You have a lot going for you. Because you have a lot of knowledge, and you've been successful, and you have all this horse, like you have 3 horses, so this is going to be a really awesome change for you. I'm getting it's really going to propel you forward. So if you're thinking like, does it make sense for me to move, actually physically move? Yes. If it's just, does it make sense for me to make a move in my business, go in a different direction, or end this relationship and start another one kind of energy, like big decisions. Make sure you are not doing them impulsively. And yeah, here we have a Page of Cups. So this on the new journey is talking about moving forward. And this Fool, basically, it's representing the energy. The pages, they would work for the king and queen, and they would generally start around 7 to 14. And they would come from like the high society families nearby. And they would apprentice at the court and generally start working between 7 and 14. And then when they were 21, they might end up being able to be a knight. And this is representing this knight when he was younger. And so then he was put up for knighthood. And now he's delivering messages to a different kingdom is what's coming up. So this energy is coming in now from a different kingdom. And this is the page. This is a cup of love. The Page of Cups understands that there's plenty of fish in the sea, but he's very focused on this particular fish. And is wanting to send, would you like to go on a date? I would really like to. I met you at blah, blah, blah. And I'm, probably don't tell him. I'm thinking about changing my whole life around because I want to marry you. That's a little bit much for the first date. But the energy here, and there's another meaning for this card. And I feel like it's sitting on this energy here, because you notice it's sitting here. And this is talking in the past. When you thought you had this energy of being in love and wanting, maybe someone wanted to give you a cup of love, or you wanted to give them a cup of love, it turned out that to be in this shifty energy where 3 people were involved instead of 2, you were stabbed in the back. People were celebrating it. They thought it was funny. And there was something fishy in your love life. And you could smell it, but you just didn't want to, took you a while to see it. And this is confirmation on this, because now you've been victorious over this energy. The Sun is the happiest card in the deck. It's representing, and look at, there's another horse here. 1, 2, 3, 4 horses. And look at this. This horse looks very much like this pony. It's very similar. And this is the Knight of Cups. This is representing the Knight of Cups when he was younger and didn't know as much about love, and so was more easily fooled. But now you are way smarter. You've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, and you're not going to entertain having bullshit in your life anymore. That's the energy. That's the good thing about this energy. It's very direct. When you've been in this energy, okay, I don't want to do that again. And this is talking about your destined path. Like, since you were born, you were supposed to be very happy. The sunflowers are turning with the sun. As long as you stay on your path, it's effortless. This child has no reins, no fear, just totally, let's go. And carrying this very heavy banner, because it's your life path. It's what you're destined to do. So it's easy for you as long as you stay in the energy. And I feel this is representing that you were in, this is the energy you were in. And that ended after you went inward and meditated and looked at it from a bunch of different perspectives. And then the transition happened. And this is the energy now that you're in here, is where, okay, I have made the decision, I'm moving forward. Here you were still making it. but the Fool's on a new journey, and this is a totally different cup of love now than this energy here. Really, it's really a good reading. Yeah, and this energy is talking about the mental prison that you were in. This energy, the Eight of Swords, is talking about, like, I feel like what it's saying basically is at one point there was a lot of water here, but now it's dried up, and water represents like really heavy emotions. And you felt duty bound, and that you couldn't really see the whole picture, but you could feel there was something wrong. And you know, and it was this energy here. There was a lot of, I feel there was some, if you were in a relationship, there was a third party involvement, and people were gossiping. You know, they were talking about it, and they thought it was funny, and you were being stabbed in the back in many ways. And this is the eight of, this is like, you've pulled 8 of those swords out already, and it's kind of like you're ready, you know, you're ready to get out of this prison. The water is now just like very shallow puddles, and your right foot is forward, showing that you're ready to take action, and your left foot is still in water, but it's that's still like the residual emotions you have from the situation. But now that this one sword is saying, okay, I'm ready to move on, and I've made up my mind, this is what I'm going to do. And then we have the energy of being able to use your intuition as well as your logic. So this energy is talking about, sorry, my cat's just doing her happy feet and it hurts. Yeah, that's okay. I just needed to, oh, now she's insulted. She was purring away, but she's using her feet to dig into my leg. She's got happy feet. Hey, say, yeah, I thought you wanted me to purr, call that. She's really irritated with me now. But this is the energy of, and there's a reason why that happened right then. And it's kind of like, I feel like you got to the point where you were like, when you started realizing what was going on, it's like, hey, I deserve way better than this. I am not putting up with this energy. And that's when I feel like when you realized what happened here and who was involved and what they were saying, that now you've put you've put 7 of those swords behind you, and you're moving forward with this 8th one. And this is the energy here. This is the thought that you want to move forward with. And it's also saying that you were using your intuition as well as your logic by going, hanging upside down and looking from a different perspective. This is representing good and evil. Actually, it's Jesus and the devil. And it's the energy of the high priestess. And she's very, very highly intuitive, sits next to the throne by God. And this is talking about the feminine energy. Of intuition, like the creativity and the intuition. And you notice she has a crescent moon here, and that's representing this new moon energy coming up. The reason the high priestess follows the cycles of the moon is because the cycles of the moon are kind of like a rhythm. And the new year, the fire horse energy, is like the Chinese zodiac is based on the lunar cycle, not the Gregorian calendar, which is why they don't need to have a leap year every 4 years, because the Gregorian calendar is a little bit off, and so every 4 years we have to have an extra day thrown in there to make the math work. With the Chinese New Year, they just have it on the day when the cycles of the moon are complete in 1 year, basically. And then we have, okay, so now we have, remember I was talking about that 111 energy, now it's 1111. And this is also the card of commitment in marriage. If you want to know more about this card, I did do a post because it's been coming up a lot. Valentine's Day is coming up, and I was doing love readings, so turned out to be tough love rather than really, fluffy love, but so be it. That's the energy that came out. And I feel in great part, a lot of people are kind of more serious than they normally are because of all the energy that's happening on the planet right now. So basically, this card is saying, this is the marriage card. It's saying that you're ready, that this is a more serious offer. You have met someone, or they've met, and either you are wanting to propose or they are wanting to propose. And the energy is, like, I want to marry you kind of energy. It's talking about the beginning of fulfillment. And so this is basically like, to put it into context, it would be like you have the down payment for your castle, but you still have to make the mortgage payments. You have met someone, but you still have to convince them to marry you, or, say yes if someone has asked you to marry them. And you also have to work on the marriage, on the relationship, to be able to have it work out. But this is saying there's, highly, odds are very high that you'll be extremely happy in this relationship. And then this is coming in pretty quick here, is the energy. So this is representing being on your divine path. And you notice it's sitting right here on this pony, and the sun energy. And so when the energy of the sun, it shines light and information, the truth, on any situation in the deck and the rest of the reading. And it also is talking about, it's the happiest card in the deck. So this is saying this is already in the works on the spiritual level. And the chariot's already on the way. Dunk, 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 dunk. It's like a tank. As long as you stay on your path, there's no need for rains. You see, there's no rains here, and there's no rains here. And it's talking about the moon. So again, a week from now, we have this eclipse, which is showing the sun, the full moon, and the new moon. And it's talking about staying on your path, no matter what illusions come up, that, you want to be on your divine path here. And so it's talking about like this lobster is coming out of the water, the emotional waters, and vulnerably staying on their path. So staying on the path no matter what. We have a domestic dog, we have a wolf and a coyote here. And this energy is like they're howling at the moon, but you just somehow get through there and you stay in between these two pillars to stay on your path. You don't give in to the illusions around you and get distracted. We have the Six of Pentacles coming in here. So the Six of Pentacles represents the energy of having planted seeds, and now the harvest is coming in. That's this energy here. You've done what you want to here, and you're ready to move on. This is talking that you've learned the give and take of life, and because Pentacles are health, wealth, happiness, abundance of lifestyle. And like you could have all the money in the world, but it doesn't mean that you're going to be living the lifestyle that you want. And that's this energy saying this person has enough money accumulated that they can even donate some to charity and to others. But they're very knowledgeable now after going through this experience of who to give to and who not to, who to take from, who not to. This person has something in their pocket, which is why the scales of justice are hanging above his head. He's not giving him any money, but this person is getting money because this one already has, the ability to move forward. He just has to quit being lazy and get off his butt kind of energy. This person does need the help. And so he's very discerning now. This is having learned a lot from being in this situation. This is the tools and the situation. This is the obstacles. And now this is the courage to face. And because you have, now we're moving into your heart's desires. And so this is the Ace of Pentacles, is a reward coming from God and the divine, like the universe, rewarding you for staying on your path even when it was really difficult. And because of that, you're being rewarded with this giant pentacle, which is representing, having like some really beautiful energy, a reward for following your North Star. That when you hung from the tree of knowledge and you took the time to meditate and pray and used your intuition, you now are being rewarded by having this, knowing what to do, like how to move forward and have a really good life. And then we have the King of Wands here, and this is the King of Wands is representing, and I do think this is the first king or queen, yes, that we have. So this could represent King of Wands energy. That could be your energy, or it could be the person that's coming in with the cup of love. Now, the King of Wands is considered to be the sexiest and the most charismatic of all the kings. He's sitting on his throne. He's holding his passion here, his wand. This is talking about having the vision. He's a visionary. This is someone who's very innovative in their thinking. It's an entrepreneurial spirit. It's also kind of like someone who loves knowledge for the sake of it kind of energy. And so this is him. He's ready to get up and move. when he's ready. And the energy is talking about being really passionate about the forward movement, of moving forward in a very passionate way. I'm sorry, the dishwasher, if that's bothering you, it's got a few more seconds here and it'll quit. There we go. It's already starting to. So the energy here is, this is the forward movement now that you've received this reward. This is saying that perhaps you have been paid for your efforts here. You may have even sold your business and decided, I'm going to go start something new somewhere else. It could be that kind of energy. Yes, conception. So this is talking about you're launching the new wands there. And you think about the Sagittarius energy of the centaur with the bow and arrow and shooting for a target in the sky, and tung, 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 the arrows just land exactly when and how they need to. That's very similar to this fire horse energy. Very, very similar. So this is talking a game. It could be saying we're leaving the year of the snake. And so the snake energy is about shedding your skin now and getting ready for the horse energy. So this is saying, like, if you have anything holding you back right now, try to wrap it up before the 17th. When the new year comes in, make sure you've shed everything that you want to shed, and now you'll be in a really good position to move forward. We have, there we have the horse. It's just confirming it. The Knight of Wands is very passionate. He's got his wand. He's got this big red plume on the back of his helmet saying, hey, I have a temper, but I've learned how to rein it in, and I've learned how to hold my emotions. And this is why you see the wands here. This is like, I'm a leader now because of it. And I have launched this energy and I'm ready to move forward. And like this energy was coming in as soon as I put this down, and then bang, here it's confirming it again. Like, how many horses do we have here? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and we've got the chariot, and then 5. That's a lot of, like, that's probably a record for a reading here. Yes, and then we have the 3 of Pentacles. So this is saying that you are highly, people are really noticing now this leadership energy. Now that you're leaving, it's hard to be a hero in your hometown. So that could be part of the energy there. People, if you live somewhere and you stay there, people still remember how you were in high school, and it could be 30 years later and you got to watch out for that one, they did this to me in grade 10, like that kind of energy. And it's so, like, sometimes you need to get up and leave the place where you were raised and grew up, and the people around you that know you. And this energy is saying you're now in a very highly elevated position, and that you really are at the top of your game. So again, this could be about inventions, or it could talk about, you've gone to school and you've been in, university for like 7 years, and now you have the papers. Or you're a really good athlete and the scouts are coming around and they're wanting, they want you to be quarterback of the team. The energy of you're an artist, or you're a singer, or a dancer, or whatever. You're a performing arts person, and the producers and directors want you for their movie, and you're the top model, and like that kind of energy. So you've got a very specialized skill here, because this person is sculpting, and these people want to collaborate. But there's a warning with this card, is saying whoever you collaborate with, you're in an elevated position. And make sure, because history is full of that, and we're seeing that being played out in the news too. All the stories from Hollywood where people were, manipulated when they were really young, and to sign contracts and make agreements that were not in their best interest, but in the interest of the people who they were collaborating with. And so these people have a plan in place already. So you're in a position where you can go on your own path and stay on your path, and do it under your terms. And this is saying, be very careful. This card often represents secret society energy. And the thing is, there's that Leo Aquarius energy coming in, because when people belong to secret societies, they have their rituals, they have their handshakes, they have their, okay, the group is more important than the individual and more important than your family or whatever. When you make the oath or whatever to be in that group, you make a commitment that you put them first before everything else. And so be very careful with this energy that anyone you collaborate with, that you're in alignment with what is going on here. And then we have the Magician, yes, because this is supposed to be an energetic upgrade for you. And so it's saying, like, you have the power to bring what is above down below. The Magician has the infinity symbol. That's to the power of infinity and beyond. And so this is the energy of beyond possibilities, endless possibilities. You have all the tools and you can build a beautiful garden for yourself on your own. And this energy, the Magician is pointing down like this, and he's saying, this is the energy you're in now at the top. There was a lot of illusions about your love life in particular, and it caused you to be in this energy. So be careful here. That it's a warning. Don't be repeating this mistake. And when the Magician is on this card, it can sometimes represent some sort of society that is into black magic, that kind of energy. Saying be really careful here that you elevate your position now, because you're in a position to elevate rather than coming back down into this cycle, because it won't be good if you do. And this energy is the Wheel of Fortune is turning. See, this is the 10 card again. This is talking about in 2026, it's going to be a new year for you. And especially, particularly, like the horse energy is coming in very strong here for you. This is the past, the present, and the future coming together in synchronicity. And that's why this 11111 portal is coming in. And look at 11, 11, 1, 11, 11. It's pretty clear. It's hilarious how the cards talk if you take the time to listen. And so this is the energy of the Queen of Pentacles. And so the Queen of Pentacles, it's talking about, this could represent the energy of the person that that the King of Wands has his eye on. And this could represent like someone that's very steady and stable, really brilliant. Someone, the Queen of Wands or the Queen of Pentacles is known to be very resourceful. So she's able to, stretch $1 if she needs to, but she comes from old money. So she understands money and she doesn't worry about it. She understands it as being a tool. And she also prefers quality over quantity. So she's not, we're talking about old money, generational wealth, a legacy of wealth that you can build with someone like this, because she doesn't squander money on designer this and that and, trying to keep up with the Joneses. She really doesn't care. People are trying to keep up with her. If she has an Instagram page, and you walk into her house will look like the Instagram page. And that's saying a lot right there. And then we have, yes, in the past, there's been disappointment in love. That's what it's talking about. And so not wanting to repeat that cycle, being with someone who's more, perhaps in the past you were with people that were in this wild spirit, or maybe you were yourself, and now you're ready to settle down kind of energy. So all the disappointments that you've had in love, we have the energy here, like this is the divine offering you a different kind of cup. This is basically saying that if you haven't met this person yet, just keep an open mind, because this person is probably going to be very different from your usual type. And a lot of people have trouble with that. Well, but that's my type. Well, that's maybe why it's been so disappointing. And it's talking about this energy right here. You see those 3 cups? Here we have it right here. And this is also sitting on conception, like of a baby possibly. And this 4th cup can be saying, there might have been a pregnancy down here that was out of the couple. And it also can be saying that if you're in a position right now, like where you're just starting out in a relationship and you're not wanting to conceive a baby, be very careful, because the chances are very high you will. That's the kind of energy. It's talking both ways here. And whoops, that's okay. That's the top card. Yeah, this is talking again about the regret of being in, this is that energy here. So this is talking about, here's the Wheel of Fortune, the illusion, the celebration, the victory over it, and this card around it. There was something fishy in your love life. And maybe you're not even aware of it, but somebody's pregnant. That's the energy I'm picking up. And I feel this is representing actually this energy down here that caused this, the person that was in your life. And that could have been the Queen of Pentacles. It could be saying that. But I don't think so, because the wheel has turned. I feel like this is saying you're not going to be disappointed if you go into a new love with, but with your head on straight kind of energy. And letting go, you have to let go of the disappointment. You have to let go of the loss. This card, the Five of Cups, represents like crying over spilt milk, but it's actually wine. So there's 2 cups of wine, and then there's a cup of something else. And this is representing the third party energy that was involved in your relationship. And I feel that this is talking about the regret that they now have because you've moved on to a different relationship where there's only 2 cups. And this is talking about going down the path, crossing the bridge over troubled waters, and going to your castle. And look, at the castle is half full or half empty, because it's half standing and half down. So like it's talking about how you could stand there for the rest of your life. And this also can represent someone who was addicted to something and has now given that addiction up. And they're just, remorseful for everything that happened. So that could be part of your energy here as well. So just, whatever works for you here. We have this energy, the Page of Swords is coming in, and you notice, I like this. The Page of Swords is in an energy where they're not, he's not looking at the sword. Because he is looking at, he already knows what he's going to do. That's this energy here. And this energy is done. He's not into this energy anymore. So this is talking about, like it reminds me of someone who's golfing. And golfing is a sport of, keeping your mind under discipline on your mind. Because if you come to the first hole and you make a big mess of it, then your game could just spiral and get worse. But if you have the right attitude, you could get a hole in one. And so this is basically saying, pay attention, keep your eye on the ball. This energy here, keep your eye on the ball and get a hole in one. Then, it's that kind of energy. This is like talking about fresh, innovative energy. Someone like think out of the box, use your intuition in that, let go of any remorse from the past, and you're well on your way. It's that kind of energy. I really like this. This is like a really big energetic upgrade. It's talking about letting go of the disappointment in love and realizing that perhaps, what your part in that was. Like maybe you were very undisciplined in your mind and you were impulsive and that kind of energy. But a lot of it, I'm also seeing it as like it's timing. Sometimes you could meet someone and it's just the wrong time, and then you could bump into them again and it would be the right time, that kind of energy. So we have, and the Hangman is talking about looking at something from a new perspective, using your intuition because you want this fulfillment. You don't want to be in this position. You're elevated. You know that you don't have to stay where you're at and follow what other people want you to do in your hometown or whatever. And I feel like you might have sold your business kind of energy, to have enough money to make this move, which is represented here. You're planted the seeds and the harvest came in, and now it was quite a good reward. And now you're able to move into your heart's desires. And this is talking about a big energetic upgrade and letting go of any sadness over the past relationships so that you can move forward. This is like a breath of fresh air. Think about a beautiful day out in the course golfing if you're into that. But it's basically saying, golf is a sport where you have to keep a disciplined mind because it's really easy to ruin your own game, right? If your mind starts wandering, it's hard to have a hole in one. And so this is talking about this conception. I feel like this, someone's pregnant. Something has been conceived. So this can talk about a new project. We're talking about a new cycle coming in. But we also have this marriage and family fulfillment card. And so this could be talking about someone's pregnant. And The King of Wands is moving forward with this new energy, and it's going to be a new, whatever you were thinking about, it's saying it's very likely, like if you keep your eye on the ball and you keep moving towards it, it's going to work out really well for you to make this move, basically. Pay attention to the 111, 11, 11, 11 energy out there. The universe is saying, keep your thoughts, like, don't be here. Keep your thoughts happy on your destined path where you want to go. That's what you need to do right now. So let's all make that pledge right now. We're going to, it's not about faking happiness, but it's about checking yourself. Because you might be surprised once you get into this energy how often you're really having negative thoughts that you're not even aware of. So I'm going to clarify this for people who want it clarified. If you've been enjoying this reading up to this point, please do give it a like or comment. It really empowers me to build my channel. I really appreciate it. I'm going to clarify with my oracle cards, Tales from the Vector, TAILS. I have a website, talesfromthevector.com. Man, I've been having issues. I was up at 2 in the morning phoning, because if you phone and catch them early in the morning at the hosting, you can get through to people more quickly. And my site was having problems. I had to get it back up again. I think it's resolved now. So if you go to my site and it's not working properly, it will be soon. They're working on it. They said it's going to take about another 24 hours to configure it. So sometimes shift happens to websites. And but the website is talesfromthevector.com, and that's TAILS. And I have a gallery of paintings that I started in 2007. I completed the 64th painting in 2020. And so that is this oracle, and it's from the Intergalactic Federation of Light. It's a very interesting oracle. I have had it out and about at psychic fairs and at my seminars in the past. But now I'm working with all of you, so that I can write up the booklet and print it and get it out there. I'm excited. I'm going to take my time, though, because I want to make sure that I play with the cards enough to get it right. I have it all written, but it's different when you start playing with the cards. You see things from different angles, like this energy here. All right, so what's going on with this energy? What is going on? What else can we learn? Okay, here we go. We have the Lovers. So yeah, this is about, remember I said sometimes this can represent wanting to be single now. That's the energy. Or get out of a relationship and maybe get into another one. Out of the frying pan into the fire. I'm just joking, but it is fire energy. So here is the Wheel of Fortune, and so the Wheel of Fortune is turning, but it's saying the moment that you went inward and were smart enough to use your intuition was when the wheel started turning for you. And then we have the energy of Cancer energy, which is talking, Cancer is ruled by the moon. Pay attention to the cycles of the moon. It's saying this again here. So that you can, and it's talking about being engaged rather than entrenched. And so I feel in this situation with this cup of love and this energy here, it's talking about wanting to be engaged to someone rather than being entrenched in the old energy. I want to point out that when when horoscope signs come up in my readings like this energy is actually not about, I'm not trying to say, oh, a Cancer did this, or, this sign did that. That may be true, though, in your reading, so pay attention for your own personal. But for my intents and purposes, we all have a little bit of every sign in us, and we can learn from each of the signs. And we can take what's really powerful about each sign and use that to learn from it and become a better version of ourselves, as well as learning what not to do. And so again, the Cancer is one of the most, it's the adolescent energy of young girls, prepubescent, that are about to start their cycle. And if you've ever been one or lived with one, you know what I mean. The energy, they're not used to these hormones, and they're learning how to be like their bodies are developing really quickly, and from a child into a woman. And this energy is particularly volatile right now because this is the energy that was so vulnerable at that time, because a lot of young women, this is a really interesting thing that came up at one of my seminars at one time in Germany, and the whole room was crying when I explained this. But like, when a young girl matures and she starts to get, her cycle, and her body's maturing into a woman, a lot of times their father will draw back, about hugging and holding and that, because it's uncomfortable, because they can see their little girl turning into this woman before their eyes, and it's like, what's appropriate, what's not. And I can tell you what's not appropriate is what we're seeing on the news right now, with all these powerful men and women in positions of power, playing off the vulnerability of young girls. Because a lot of young girls, if they don't have a powerful father figure, that's who they'll turn to, and they'll be looking for that father in other people. And if people abuse that energy, it's one of the worst things. Like, it's really picking like on someone who's at their most vulnerable and using them for gratification for your own needs. And it's like what we're seeing in the news right now, the victims of the energy. So it's talking about that. It's coming in all my readings. It's being pretty, like, I'm wanting to keep my readings upbeat right now, and I feel like this is an upbeat energy, but this is coming out. And so young girls, when they need their fathers the most, that's quite often when their fathers pull away. And if young girls can't get that energy from their dad, like, I need a strong father figure here right now, then they'll go and look for it in their boyfriends who are 16 years old, right? And it doesn't usually work out. And look what come out, father figures. So if you have any young girls in your family that are going through this, be very careful, like, understand what they're going through. And, if they don't have a strong father figure in their life, then, maybe they have someone else, a relative, that could kind of provide that energy a little bit for them. And then we have destruction. And this is, a tactic that's being used. And it's talking about this energy here, and the cup of love, and the transition, and all, like this, this energy of, the light after the dark. And it's talking about this new cycle beginning, and it's talking about progress and motion. And so sometimes what is progress for some is not progress for others. And we're seeing that played out also. The world wants to come out here. So this is about having to, again, this energy of, it's a whole new world, it's a new cycle. When this card comes up, it's talking about the end of something and the beginning of something new. And of course, that energy is right on this romance. So it's talking about, it's time to end that relationship and begin a new one. There was 3 people instead of 2 in it. We have, temptation was there. So when the devil comes in, and this is like the end of this energy, see how this is right before the fool goes on their new journey kind of energy? So when this card comes in, this is talking about the temptation when you're doing like, oh, that looks, I really want that. I want that person in my life, or I really want that. People who are not in their right head that want things they shouldn't want also. That kind of energy. And it's talking about being tempted to do things that are wrong, but you want it so bad you'll do it anyway. So that's the devil energy. And the devil's an archetype, so the devil can't really, do his own dirty work. So he always sends a minion in to do it. So we're going to see, who does the devil send in? We're not going to get the truth from him, but we can okay, so there's an emperor energy coming in here. So I hope that this is saying that the emperor is taking care of this energy in the proper way. But it could be also, it feels like it could be like someone who is an emperor energy, like from the very top here. Someone who, the emperor represents someone, if they're in politics, they run a country. If they're in, whatever profession they're in. If they're a Supreme Court judge, that kind of energy, being in the, being like 100% about performance and being at the top of their game and being there. But in reverse, this kind of energy with the cards around it sitting on the devil is what we're seeing played out right now on the world stage. Like these powerful males in using vulnerable young girls to get what they want. And now we have to point out here, this is alleged behavior with these files coming out, because you think about it, all these political leaders are to get like having to have meetings with each other and that, so they could be in the files, in the emails, etc., and not have done anything wrong. Having said that, there is some proof here that there was some wrongdoing. So it's just talking about, being like not being really sure of your information before you go running with your tongue, like this kind of energy. And so this is jealousy. And you have to make up your mind. Would I rather be bitter, or would I rather be better? That's the kind of energy like when you're in the golf game and in the first hole you mess up the game so bad, like you're like, oh, my score is going to be horrible. Having said that, the next, you maybe can't even redeem it. It was so bad, but you can still have a hole in one, the next hole if you discipline your mind. And then we have the energy of deception. So this is talking again about the third party energy here. And we have Pisces energy. So the senior executive energy, being really responsible, being sensitive to what's going on. This is sink or swim energy. I feel like it was like you had to get out of this, or you would have ended up having kind of a shifty outcome compared to the outcome. You don't want to be trapped for your whole life in this kind of energy, that's for sure, with the Eight of Swords. Moving on to fulfillment. And so a lot of times people will say we're all in it together, but then you find out you actually weren't all in it together. So it's talking about people being indifferent to other people's suffering because they want what they want, that kind of energy. We have the energy of surrender. So surrender is, it can mean a few things, but it's surrendering to God's plan. Like if you don't know what to do, go and meditate and pray. Go inward, get the answers from inside, talk to God. Find out, like, okay, what's my destined path here? Like, which is the right move? And so a lot of times ancestors, when there's judgment being called around the world, the ancestors are right there, and they will make their presence known. And quite often, if you have their energy around, you'll feel some cold air coming in. It's kind of like there's something in the atmosphere, right? And so this is like the energy of our ancestors wanting us to make really strong decisions right now. The decisions that their descendants make on the earth clear karma that they weren't able to clear in their lifetime for them. And so it's a big deal for them because they're living in a spiritual world at this point. And we have the energy of disruption. So what's fun for some is not fun for everyone, clearly. If these people were thinking, oh, this is really funny, this is awesome kind of energy, it was fun for them, but I don't think it was fun for you. And a tower hit for everybody. This is the divorce card, but in my oracle, it's the worst divorce is from source. And then we have abuse of power. Yeah, that's what we're seeing in the world, and I feel like for the next little while anyway, my readings are going to be a combination of what's happening with those files, because it's kind of like the energy, let's sweep it under the rug now, let's move on to the next thing. No, let's not move on to the next thing. Let's all make an agreement here that you shouldn't be doing making victims out of young girls that are about to start their life out, and they're, and tarnish their life just because you want something, that's no. And just because you have the money to pay for it, no. I think we can all agree we don't want that to happen. And if we can't agree on that, then we need to start agreeing on it. Yeah, you don't want to be in denial. What I don't know won't hurt me. And that's kind of like, I feel like a lot of us are like, we just don't want to see the dirty of the world. Like, it's like we got our own problems and we got enough on our own plate. But this is about a breath of fresh air coming in for everybody if you want it. That's what I love about the Chinese New Year, is because if you've already blown your New Year's resolution for the Gregorian calendar, here's your second chance. Now you have a second chance to do a better job. So I really enjoyed this reading. I hope you have also. Please give it a like and comment if you have, and I will be back. Consider subscribing to the channel if you resonate with the energy. I'll have another daily reading for you tomorrow. Bye for now. Okay, Stella. I know.